Hello! It's the end of 2025. Wow! Hi, everybody. Welcome. What's that? What? There's something that. Oh, it's gone. It's probably nothing. Hi. Okay. I've been doing some testing on Chapter 2. And it's almost done. Not like done. Yeah, let's see. The hour difference. Is it midnight or 1 there? One or the other. I don't think it's 2. It is 1 a.m. Okay. Happy 1 a.m., Theron. Happy new 1. Pretty much all that remains for Chapter 2 is the boss fight needs to be polished up pretty well. Like, there needs to be like an intro cinematic, which I'm working on it. I probably want to add another actual something or other to the boss, like a new move or gimmick or something. Hey, Liari, welcome in. So yeah, boss stuff. Basically, from this room on, needs to be actually finished, though it's mostly done. And the other, in my opinion, must-have is that Leon's main attack needs a decent action command. Because right now he's borrowing Cat's scanner action command, and they need to be unique. We don't want to copy one. We don't want to copy them unless they are the same move. For instance, Spring Fling and Spring Barrage are basically the same move, so they do use the same action command, though it's notably like a different number of targets at least. What else? That's it. That's the main stuff. Boss and Leon for MVP. I ran into a really weird bug while testing the dungeon. It took me a while to narrow down like what was happening. It was basically the wire puzzles. The wire puzzles. Once you completed one, if you tried to move to another room, the game would crash. Like, hard crash. And that was really, really weird. Yeah. I was able to figure it out, at least. But yeah, that was super weird. It was bad. Apparently, what it was is those little zaps of electricity that follow your current path of wire. The problem was that I was duplicating that node, and it didn't like that for some reason. Like, that is specifically what was happening, was as long as there was only one of those, then it was fine. But if at any point there existed 2 of those orbs at once, then no matter whether you like immediately warped out of the room or completed the wire puzzle, didn't matter. As soon as you hit a moment where there were 2, even if you got rid of the second one, the game would crash the next time you change scenes. And the crash I was getting was like a memory allocation error. So something with the .duplicate duplicate call is weird. I don't think I have to like manually free those up, but I don't know for sure. I gotta make some hard choices at some point about a minimum age. It's not like a super hard choice. It's not like It's not like this will drastically change the fate of humanity or anything, but I need to make a choice. But yeah, it's working. It's working now. You can actually play the dungeon through from start to finish. Combat works, the puzzles work, the little cinematics, and there are a lot of little cinematics of like door open kind of stuff, things turning on, lots of states to manage, but it all works. There's a lot of cinematics on getting into the dungeon. Like the entrance room has two full separate, maybe 3 separate cinematics that play out in it. It's a weirdly convoluted room with as many events that are happening. So let's make tonight's goal just getting Leon's new action command. I don't like to work on cinematic stuff on stream as much because it's just me like testing the same thing over and over again. Be like, move that a little to the left, change that text to make it fit better. Dumb stuff. Okay, so we're done with those. Leon's move. Action commands. So currently we're using the what is effectively the tattle command for Leon, which is the cursor and the X, and they're going back and forth. This one right here. He walks up, and then we do this action command, and then if you hit it, you deal 2 damage, and that's it. So I think what we need, it makes sense to have an action command that is pass or fail. Does it make sense to have an action command that still does 1 damage on a fail? Right now it does 1 damage on a fail. I think we'll keep that. I think it'll be 1 damage on a fail, 2 damage on a success. What is the action command? What makes sense? So I made a list of all of the different action command mini games in Thousand Year Door, and some from Bug Fables. And there turns out that when you break it down, there's not many. There's not actually that many. Meter filling up is good for degrees of success, of like get it as close as you can to some kind of target, either with going over or without going over, because then you can do degrees of like, oh yeah, you were right in the middle, extra damage, or you were close but not great, versus no, you were way off, no damage. Tapping button quickly, always a classic. Wiggling between 2 buttons. It's fun to try and make them match what's actually happening in some way. Like for Leon's paint feint, having it like, oh, you're moving a paintbrush. A rhythm game, like buttons. Oh yeah, that would be good. DDR game. Add that to the list of that would be funny. See, something as involved in that works really well for there it is, special attack. Yeah. The brain cells scenario. Yeah. That would be good for something kind of similar to what's the one in TTYD? Power Lift, where it's like the more you get, the better the degree of success, but it's on a scale of like 0 to 4 on 2 different axes as well. Hold a button and release could be good. That is similar to Dabble's gear spin. Is kind of the basic idea, except without the hold. Hold and release was Yoshi's. Yoshi had a. Baby Yoshi had a. His gulp move was hold R of all things. Why R? And then release when it lit up, and then I don't know. Probably a pretty reasonable window, something akin to Cat's Wrench Hit. Actually, this would be equivalent in functionality to Cat's Wrench Hit, but different dressing. So that one is... what is that one? It's not meter timing. That's ring. That's the spring fling. Not scanner. I think it's spring launch. Yeah, spring launch was originally one of those. So this is the action command for this that controls. You know, you just specify which button do you have to press and how many lights and how long per light, and then it'll do it. It'll do ding, 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 ding. But we're not going to do it the exact same way. In fact, all this code will probably not be applicable for this. Maybe some of the sound effects. So I think what we'll do is we're going to make a new action command folder. Yeah, I think we want you... Leon walks up, and then the button appears in grayscale, or, you know, like faded out. Similar to how does this work? The hint button. Target state is pressed. Yeah. Oops, not that. Target state is pressed. Here we go. Hey Hudson, welcome in. Oh, and I forgot to mention we got some void in case we get thirsty tonight. I don't know how long tonight's stream is going to be. Little Toadette and Hovercat are visiting Hovercat's side of the family tonight for New Year's. And we had my family over last night, and it was exhausting. We just shut down once everybody left. It is Welch's Sparkling Crisp Apple Juice Cocktail from Concentrate. New refreshing taste. How refreshing. The very best. I do like some carbonated fruit juice. So let's see here. How do we dress this one up? Button, you start pressing it, meter fills up, and then lights up at the end, and you got a limited time to release the button? Or is it going to be like, oh, you got to land it in the middle of the target zone, or... We'll probably leave it as just like a meter fills up, just a static animation, no fancy business there. Lights up, release within a few frames. That's the end of the minigame. That's it. So we're going to call that type of action command, because we can reuse it. Take control of a character. Oh, geez. That's not too bad, but it's not too good in the engine. It's doable. It's definitely doable. It would definitely be weird and different. New Pokemon game been pretty fun. Well, that's good. Za. Meter, fill, and release is the name of this type of action command. What game? Why, this is called Paper Robot. Whoa! Actually, while I'm doing the bookkeeping of making the new class, oh, there should be a demo mode, shouldn't there? Like, well, not just like a game demo, but I mean like if you don't press the button quick enough, it starts playing the game for you. What do you call it? Attract mode, right? Attract mode. Paper Robot. I don't actually know where these files would send me. I think I know where that one would send me. Just judging by the fact that I'm at level 5. Yeah. Basically that. All right, we're just gonna observe the pig in its natural habitat. I have no idea. I don't know what it could be, Hudson. I should make it so that Twitch can send inputs to the game so that you guys can play it while I'm adding new files and folders here. Meter, fill, and release. That's right. Okay, so we want a new... Imagine. New scene. Oh, I just realized that the sound is on, or the music is on, because I was testing something earlier related to the music. Meter, fill, and release goes in. Scenes, battle, action commands, meter, fill, and release. Save. We're going to try to aim to be properly scaled here. So we need a hint button. We need a meter, which we're going to grab meter from... Where are we going to grab a meter from? From Spring Fling, which is called meter timing. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Wait. Do we have... No, this is different. This is different, right? Yes, that is different. Phew. But it's the same idea. This. Meter, fill, and release. Boom, we're practically there already. It's practically the entire bit. Paper Robot Maker. Yes. I have been thinking, what if we did like a dumb little, a quick and dirty side-scroller with Dabble, but like not the other Dabble. Oh, that's getting confusing, isn't it? Welcome in, Evil Eye. Hope you're doing well. So much Dabble. There's too many characters that I've got named Dabble. Why does this keep happening? Okay. Let's have default jump button. Jump button seems good. Yeah. I do like to dabble. So true. Okay, so this is this. So I can just change the width of this, right? How does that work? Size? Yes. Size can just be... Oh, man, Zach. Well, it's good to see you. What texture are we using here? rid of this. Okay. Hint button is fine. The 9 patch is good for the little border. This, I think we're going to leave it and just change the region rect when it's the proper time. Okay, so let's look into the code that gets used for meter timing. How does meter timing work here? Does it just mess with the... It just messes with the region rect, yeah. That makes sense. That seems like the easiest way to do it. Needs more if statements. Needs one massive class. 30,000 lines. If statements, if statements, if statements. You know, when I was working for Blizzard... okay. We're gonna do fill meter, go to New York on a school trip, and then write a 40-page paper. I guess 40's not... 40, when I was very young, 40 seemed like an impossible task. Not even to be considered. But then I got to college, I'm like, okay, actually, if you can actually think of something to say, 40's super doable. You reach a point in writing a paper where you're like, oh no, I might have a point here. Tedious, yeah. I need to write that essay about status effects for a video at some point. Exactly. If it's something you're actually interested. Now the problem is, I was never interested. I was just focused on like, I want to make a little game on my calculator. This is taking away time from my calculator. Ah, because you see. Alright, so we need this. We're gonna have a period of time where we are waiting before we start letting you press the button. So the hint button is going to be invisible to start. So we need access to the hint button. We need access to the panel light. We're going to call that orb. Sure. And then we need access to the meter fill. The color wrapped. Perfect. Yeah, I get you. Meter max width. We're just gonna take the initial width. Width? No. What is this under? Transformed up? Size dot X. Interesting. All right. All right. And then we'll have some kind of like timer, I guess. Do we need a timer? Sure. And then a state. And we're not even gonna bother with actually listing the different states. This is gonna be like tiny code. We're just gonna slap out a really quick and dirty function here. Don't even worry about it. Get this extra panel out of here. Give me that real estate back. So let's see. It's gonna be if state is in init and timer is greater than Oh, when does the action command actually start? You know what? I think they're gonna start immediately. If state is ready. If input dot action just pressed. We're gonna use the jump button for this. State equals filling and reset timer, and then get out of there. If state is if we are filling, then our meter fill size.x equals something. Let's see. What's our time? Time to max fill is var meter target time equals 1.5 seconds, let's say. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Meter ratio is going to be our current timer divided by our target time, and clamp that. Well, no, just size x is going to be the max width times our ratio. Our ratio clamped to 0. If input dot action is action just released, jump. Then state equals done, and then press on from there. Reset timer, sure. At that point, we're going to look at our... We got scoring taken care of in the game. I sure do. I wrote a lot of the music, but I'd say the majority of it is by a musician named... what does he go by? On Twitch, he goes by Wario's Warehouse. We call him Casual because when he first came to my community, that's the handle he had on Twitch. On YouTube, I think he's Apollyon Records or something. I don't know. Here. Let's do this. You guys don't want to look at code. You don't want to look at that either, but there we go. So that way we can actually see what we're listening to. And it'll tell you whether it's something that we co-wrote or if he did it himself. For the ones that I wrote, I basically just composed it in Beatbox, and then he dressed it up in GarageBand. Well, we'll compromise then. Life is all about compromises. There we go. Yeah, perfect. I got half of the editor on one screen. It's perfect, trust me. Okay. Oh, there go the fireworks. How you doing? Oh, you're asleep. All right, good. So we're gonna fill up the meter, and then we're gonna keep track of whether or not we hit it in time. If we're too early or too late, then yeah, that's bad. Var success, or do we test that? Actually, we don't even have to reset the time. Well, wait, yeah. I get it. There's definitely something to be said about the desire to just kind of be part of something bigger. And you know what's really weird that scratches that itch for me? This is a tangent. This is a tangent. So you go. See any of them that have me and Cassidy records listed. That's a co-wrote. This one was all them. here's a weird thing. The thing that really scratches that itch for me in a dumb way is multiplayer Minecraft. Just the idea of like working together on some big project, taking ownership of some small piece of something much grander that you could never do on your own. That's fun. That's fun. I do want to get in on a project at some point with like another dev, but that's going to be like 5 years from now before I can do something like that. Welcome in, welcome in. What is Gumroad? Oranong? Tell me. Okay, see ya. That was a weird interaction. What is... all right, I'll Google it. Gumroad is earn your first dollar. I mean, I don't love that already. E-commerce platform for selling products. Okay, similar to Patreon. Okay, so it's a Patreon style. So for what? Like for I assume since you're like looking at software game development category, you're interested in like selling games on that. Is that the idea? Your target time. We want to have a like a is timing good. We're just gonna say good for now. For knowledge, there's a really fun concept in again another weird tangent. There's this really fun concept in the Discworld series of that's by Terry Pratchett, Sir Terry Pratchett, which I really love the series. It is a fantasy parody, but everything is weirdly played straight. I really like it. And he presents the concept in his fantasy world of reverse phrenology, where instead of reading the patterns and bumps on someone's skull to determine their personality, instead you use a mallet and a steady hand to create the bumps that would in turn improve your personality. The whole series is full of that kind of like very like just kind of conceptual jokes, and then he just kind of rolls with it for a few pages. Very fun. Would recommend. When you release it, we're gonna say, is timing good? Well, that's a new word for me as well. I'm learning all kinds of things tonight. Gumroad, epigenetics. Behaviors, environment, influence gene activity without changing a DNA sequence. I don't think I'm well versed enough in biology to make sense of that. Not my specialty. What is our target time? We're gonna say if we are within how many frames? 4 frames? So we do timer minus meter target time. And we're gonna see if that is less than or equal to 4 frames. Or 4/60ths of a second. Oh, it's not looking good at the New Year's party already. We'll see how long String gets to go tonight. Fingers crossed. So we're gonna say a 4. No. That's not what I want at all. I want to wait until it lights up, So we're gonna say timer needs to be greater than or equal to the target time, and timer needs to be less than or equal to target time plus 8 frames. I think 8 frames is plenty. Aw, thank you. Hi, Abrams. Good to see you. It is weird. It is weird. That is not a thing you should do, but I appreciate that you're trying to be better. All of us are striving to improve in our own ways. Look, it's New Year's. Some people are a little bit drunk, probably. Us, on the other hand, we're all going to sit down with a nice bottle of sparkling apple juice. Non-alcoholic juice cocktail from concentrate. No, that's the weird thing again. Easy on the trolling now. I can deal with like a little bit of trolling. If you're gonna make fun of my appearance, that's one thing, but like don't do it like a lot to the point of derailing everybody else. All right, so that's gonna keep track of this, like whether or not we hit the right timing. Next, we need to actually jump into a new state. If you release it, we're jumping into a new state. But also, jump to a new state and return. And I guess timer set to 0. But additionally, if the timer goes too long, if timer reaches that 8 frame window, if the timer reaches the 8 frame window, then yes, then we have a problem. If it's greater than or equal to... No, it's got to be greater than. If it's greater than, then we'll do the thing. So we'll do like if it actually exceeds it, then we will list it as state done and make sure we definitely set that to false there. Actually, yeah, we can just do this. If it's greater than the target time or equal to, set it to good. And if it goes beyond, then set it to bad. So normally it's going to be bad until we hit that exact amount. Okay, good. Next up, if state is done, this is where we're going to... How exactly are we going to do this? Let's get the sound effects in. Jeez, these fireworks. You okay, Posey? She's doing all right. This is probably one of the best fitting tracks in the game, is like the battle theme. Yeah, let's just do a quick cleanup here. And then, there we go. We are so back. All right. No fireworks for you. They've started early. The sun barely went down very recently, so I don't know. I don't love it. We'll play menu error if we hit this branch here. You've already got fireworks. Yeah. I'm not surprised. And then, okay, this is the ding, ding. What else we got in here? I guess just a regular ding is fine. People start firing. You wish. You wish. But alas, not the case. Not the case, unfortunately. Alright. If you release it at the right time, then play action ding. Do we want like a... Probably. Doesn't meter timing play that? Does it not play that? It doesn't. What action commands do we have that... It's stop and go fast. Stop and go fast plays the... Sawtooth. It does a sawtooth. Okay. Well, let's copy that in for fill and release. Wait, I'm in the wrong code, aren't I? Yep. Okay, but in stop and go fast, how do we deal that? Start playing when it's not playing, if it's filling. And then where do we mess with the pitch? Pitch scale lerp. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Then while filling, if we're not playing the sound already, start playing it. And then pitch it based on... How is this working? I don't know if we'll start chapter 3 today. We're kind of still... I've still got lots of chapter 2 cleanup to do. I'm weirdly not that far away from early outside testing for chapter 2, which is weird. I probably need to spend like a couple weeks outside of streams polishing, like adding missing sound effects, tweaking attacks, enemy animations, that sort of thing, and then get some testing on it. We might do a little bit of idea work, brainstorming, and concept art for chapter 3. I've got a lot of ideas for it, and I need to consolidate them into one central plot. Okay. I guess this is fine. Fill meter scale X. Fill meter scale X. Chapter 3 is the desert. We're not doing like we're not doing the kind of desert of like we're not doing pyramids and sphinxes. We're doing mesas and yeah, we're doing badlands. Control point. King of the Hill Badlands. TF2. Meter ratio is a scale of 0 to 1, so that's what we want here. And then on release, we want to stop it from being played. Either way, whether error or success. And then on state done, whoa, we're going Psychonaut style. Okay. The action command needs to handle its own queue free. That's fine. That's super doable. So what we'll do for fill and release is we're going to take this container and we're going to make a tween. We're going to tween the property of container, position X, container.position.x minus 800 over the course of 0.5 seconds. We'll do quad, ease in out, and we're gonna do callback. When it completes, we're gonna do queue free. Dot bind? Is that necessary? I don't think that's necessary. I think we just call the function that way. We'll see. All right. Meter fill and release. Now we go into partner moves, and we specify that Leon's tongue uses the fill and release action command. You know, I thought you said Froggy haunted Victorian town. It's like, I didn't even question it. It's like, of course, naturally. Give me this guy. Give me this guy here. Toad Plague. All right, let's see if this works. Whoa, nope, nope, nope. Oh, right. We actually have to set the results. So all action commands have to specify a property called result. -1 means it's still pending. Typically, 0 is a success, and 1 is a failure. Or 1 is a success and 0 is a failure. But you can have any number other than -1, and it's fine. So we're gonna do 1 if timing is good, else 0 if timing. I mean, circus would be a great one. I have an even more fantastical setting for chapter 6. More whimsy. Okay, that was close. How does the result work on that one here? Action command happens. Result damage is result plus 0. Print result there, for one thing. Secondly, we need to initialize the meter to be empty. I almost forgot. We need to make the hint button visible. It should be visible all the time. No initialization setup. No initialization setup. So much whimsy. I love some good old-fashioned whimsy. All right, that's good. We do need to make the icon change to a star icon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. 500. The orb. The orb. If is timing good? Oh, you can just mess with the position.x. Okay, great. Just change it to 500. And if we fail out, then set it instead to 100, which is red. Yeah, I'm hesitant to tell you guys where different ones take place, you know? All right, watch the output window. I got a 0 there. Why did I get a 0 on the result? Is timing good? It never actually filled up the meter enough. Oh, the meter didn't fill up enough because, yeah. Because the cutoff is like right around here. Not actually there. So it should be more like this. That will help it appear more correctly. Johnny 5. No disassemble. Custom battle. Give me this guy. Here. Okay. I was too late, I assume. That feels like a narrow window for some reason. That's your level. That's Germdove's level. It's Germdove's now. He's just a fan. Wah, wah, wah. All right, timer. Timer is measuring number of seconds. 8/60th. Maybe that's too much. Maybe I want... Okay. Maybe I want a full 1/6 of a second. Actually, maybe it should be even more. Let's go with 12. And let's run it in slow-mo so I can confirm how that's working. Any enemy, doesn't matter. Battle. Alright. Slow motion. Okay, so that was me holding the button and just not doing anything. Okay. Alright, that felt a lot more doable. Alright, and we confirmed then that sound effects work right. So that's good. Alright, get rid of that print statement, and that one is done. And you know what that means? We can take it off the list. Leon's action command is done. Oh! I know what we're gonna get our art out. We're gonna get our art on. It's my chapstick. New What's our size for mock-up stuff? Whoops, I was hoping to just check it, but just open the whole thing. 1600, 900. 1600, 900 is great for mock-up. And then also, art UI. Yes, that's 400 by 400. Open that one for later. Okay, cool. Get this out of here. And this can go back out of the way. So we're gonna fill up our screen with new stuff. All right, official chapter 3 planning, but also doing a little bit of chapter 2 something or other. Okay. You know, I really liked this color here. Yeah, all right. We're doing this again. This worked pretty well last time. Gets you in the planning mood, you know? And then we'll switch over to sketch items. A good, not bad. Pencil, great. The best. Bump that opacity up. Oh, too much. This. Yeah, alright. That was reasonably sketch. Alright, officially, this will be, chapter 3. Da, 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 da. Oh, no, I gotta play I have the audio. It's easy. Chapter 3. And we'll play the chapter 3 audio. All right, chapter 3. Chapter 3 is going to be... It's a good song. Wild West. Yeehaw! So... Big things we need for chapter 3. The Banditos. They're gonna be snakes. They're gonna have guns. How does a snake fire a gun? Good question. You're gonna have nice cowboy hats going on. That was a terrible cowboy hat. Yeah, that's there it is. That's a cowboy hat. Trust me. We'll work on the hats a little bit. You get it. You get it. No, let's just do this. You can get the idea. right, we can do this. This is one option here, which is already hilarious. Maybe one such snake rolling around like this. Oh, you know what? We need to, well, it's fine. We're just gonna have a little bit of extra line here. There's nothing we can do about it. Snake, not every snake is snake. Hasty erase job here. So there's one idea. But also consider, perhaps, this very excellent idea of the snake needs a gun. We're gonna do like, kind of this situation here, and very important. Very important gun situation here. I don't know exactly how to draw a gun, I'm gonna admit. Need it very revolver style. A 6-shooter. This is very important. There we go. That's how we keep the E rating. This is going to be adorable when it's animated, I'm sure. Maybe it'll be more like this. Something like that. I don't know. Thank you for the follow. All follows are anonymous. Yeah, he's got a little court gun. It's adorable. That's a fun way of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door would never have someone walking around with a pistol or a shotgun or anything like that. Court gun, that's reasonable. You could do that in a Paper Mario. You could do that in a Paper Mario and not get in trouble. That's adorable. But it's got to have a very extreme, exaggerated, over-the-top obvious, it is a court gun. Like a big old cork pop sound effect when it shoots. It's going to be great. There's gonna be some new status effects. I don't know if it's gonna end up being a mid-boss or the actual boss. Probably actual boss would make sense. I don't know. Okay, the boss. Do they ride something? Yes, they ride the boss of Chapter 3. Let's see here. I've got this somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Boss of Chapter 3. Oh yeah, I wrote this one. I wrote it, and then it got... it got done in GarageBand. Here we go. There we go. That's the boss music for chapter 3. It's really nice big old vaguely, sort of big. Really sharp vanishing point. Make this work. Extreme vanishing. That's it. Again! There we go. Okay, so this is going to be the boss of chapter 3. It's going to be very similar in flavor to the chapter 1 boss of a large entity, a large constructed entity. A train. Somehow we'll work this into the design. The golden gear. Suplex, usually. There we go. Okay, so the chapter 3 boss fight. You're gonna fight on the train. You're gonna fight on the train. And there's gonna be a big swooping intro cinematic before the battle actually begins. Because I love that. Like, I've had that image in my head since we were starting chapter 1. It's like, I know exactly what chapter 3 is gonna look like. For at least for the boss fight. I've got multiple things in mind, and I'm worried that there's too much that I have in mind. These guys are important to this. Maybe they should get little bandanas. I don't know if this one is definitely going in the game. This one might go in the game. Just a snake in one boot with a nice, well-animated. All right, so how would we do a bandana for a snake here? It becomes something like that, right? I guess you'd have to bring that point a little bit further out. Oh, that's great. That's a great bit, Al, for introducing them. The traditional... There is going to be a saloon. There is going to be a saloon. So, yeah, I love that, Al. The visual gag is hilarious of the big saloon doors, and then you see the silhouette, and then the door busts open, and it's two snakes. That's a good visual gag, and I would chuckle if I saw that in my video game. Suplex the train. Okay. So ideas for the Wild West. These are the obvious ones here. Gave him the trench coat. We've already made that gag. We want to have a train bridge, because that's just an amazing scene to have, you know. Gosh, some big girders and stuff. We want to have gold mine. Tons of classic video game stuff we can do with a gold mine. In that, of course, minecart minigame. Tumbleweeds. The name of this song that Cassidy wrote is actually called Walking Tumbleweed. Tumbleweeds might end up just being like a little bit of extra thing you can just hit, and maybe you get some money. Yes, there's gonna be a town. Town is gonna have a saloon. Gotta have a saloon. It's gonna have a graveyard. I've known that since before I started the game. There's gonna be a graveyard at the saloon in the Wild West town. It's just a 30-minute trial of Minecraft. There could be ghosts. I think if there are ghosts, it's not immediately going to be a major part of Chapter 3, but keep in mind that one of the major things I want to do with this game is have side content that you can come back to for pretty much every chapter. So Chapter 1, I left a very obvious spot where I can add more stuff later near the mud puddle room, close to the river. There's like that place with the big rocks and lots of grass in the way. And there's nothing there right now. But I specifically set that up so that later in the development cycle, I can put some kind of gate that you can only pass with some late game maneuver. Are you talking about for this song in particular, for Walking Tumbleweed? I totally can. I'm sure they would be happy to answer that. Oboe lead. Okay. And I'm gonna include your handle in this message so that if they don't end up seeing this for a couple of days, we'll still be able to track you down and tell you. Let's see. What voice used? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea how to find someone on Discord. For the lead on Walking Tumbleweed. There we go. The message is sent. I assume they have some kind of oh, there we go. That works. Sweet. Yeah, I'll wave to say hi too, now that we made it so that people can actually type in that channel. There we go. Their current name on Discord is I'm So Hungry. They changed their name a lot. I guess that's just the done thing. Oh, and of course, obviously, we gotta have like a big old smoke cloud, right? Oh wait, it would be going for this particular drawing, it would be going into the background more. There we go. That's cool. All right, good. That might have been their most recent post was in the music channel. Good call out. Train station. Okay, let's talk about the train. Oh yeah, this song is fantastic. And I had some pretty exacting specifications on this one regarding the main motif. Because there is the main theme. Because you guys know where the main theme comes from. It's the, okay, so this is the title theme. Actually, you know what? Here, I'm gonna plop this in chat. There we go. This does not work well. I mostly just use this for personal use for background music for the stream, but it does work. You can select a song from the different chapters and it'll play and it'll actually loop for roughly 6 minutes before it will auto jump to the next song. So if you just want to hear one song on loop, it's not going to work. Also, it takes a lot of load because I didn't do lazy loading. I just had it load all the audio files up front for some reason. What was I going to say? The train. The train. What if it doesn't even need rails? What if it's just like... So, there's a recurring theme that the Golden Gears are powerful and seem to augment, in some ways, the things that they come into contact with the sheer force of their, I don't know, plot-bending power. So, what if, equipped onto this train, the train does not need rails, and basically, if I can come up with like a decent shader for it to get some kind of ethereal, sparkly rails that just kind of form out of nothing. It's not really hovering. It is on rails, but the rails just appear wherever it is going, and it's terrorizing the town because it's run by the bandits, the snakes. Now, the leader of the bunch is a bit of a gambler. That's going to be his shtick. He's going to have very gambling-themed attacks and status effects that he inflicts. D&D references? I don't know. It's possible. Now, a dumb idea I'm throwing around. It's very low damage. No, one of the games he's gonna do 3-card Monty. Will there be a sheriff? I guess there should be a sheriff, but like, I don't know, like an ineffective one. Or maybe one that's like, I quit, you're sheriff now. And then the main player becomes a sheriff. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a new partner. Oops, I've been adding to the wrong layer. There we go. New partner is tentatively, a mole. A mole named Melissa. Is the gold mine related to the Golden Gears? I hadn't planned on it, but it's entirely possible. That could make for some interesting... Yes, it is actually Melissa. It will be spelled that way. That can make for an interesting, not critically important, not pointed out in any extreme way, but like hinted at by background dialogue. Is like, we play it straight of, it's a gold mine, don't worry about it. You're in a gold mine because it's a Wild West town, and that's the theming. Enjoy the show. Enjoy old rickety elevators and runaway mine carts, because this is a video game and we're here to have fun. But for the people that get engrossed in the world and really enjoy that kind of stuff, if you talk to the right NPCs, you will learn like some hints that don't outright say it, but seem to indicate that for some reason the gold here has some kind of strange properties. But you'd need to acquire a large amount of it to really see its power. Oh yeah, gold mine's been emptied out for decades now. Yeah, since back before the old city was there. Even. Yeah. I like that. It's the old gold mine. There's no gold left. It was emptied out like before anyone remembers. Mainly a tourist trap. Mainly a tourist trap now. There's not gold in them thar hills anymore. Okay, dumb idea I would like to play with, and I don't know how well this would work. Okay. I feel like we're late enough in the game. We're firmly into like we're sort of on the late early game, early mid game at this point, I would say. Hey, it's Photon. Welcome in, Photon. Lake Hopper. Happy New Year. You know what? As long as Hovercat's not on the way home or anything yet. Yeah, let's pour a glass. Wimdy. Happy New Year, everybody. Oh, let's bring it back out. Let's bring it out. And you know what else? Let's bring back out let's bring back out the boss theme, because it's so good. Glass of Welch's Sparkling Crisp Apple. I've never done the apple before. It's usually grape juice. We'll try the apple. So the boss is the train for Chapter 3. That's the big reveal. Actually, you're probably going to be revealed almost immediately upon stepping into Chapter 3. Like, we'll do, like, one room to be like, it's a normal chapter, and then boom, train. Oh, sorry, I moved my mic away to pour the juice. That too. I'm jamming out. It's good. It's good music. It's pretty good. I think the grape juice is better. Do you hear the good, the bad, and the ugly reference in there? I made sure to tell him to put that in. So, I think the main gimmick on the train fight is going to be twofold. Oh, this is gonna be a long fight, I think, and it makes me want to break it up. Like, you fight on the train twice. You're gonna be fighting on the train. The background is gonna be zipping by. So the idea here. The idea here is you're up here on the train, and then I don't know who else is going to be here, and your partner, and then you're going to be fighting on the train as it's like zipping ahead, and then the front of the train up here. What does the train transport? Destruction, mostly. There definitely needs to be a coal car, of course. You gotta have a coal car. Pain train, ×2, capture speed. Oh, ow, that sounds so good. Oh, I can see it, too. Actually, we don't even have to do that. We can. So here's the idea: is that you do a fight, and then when you finish it, you're gonna walk ahead. You're gonna walk ahead to the next car, and then have another round of fight until you work your way up to the locomotive for the finale of it. You see where I'm getting at there. Now, one idea I've got is like some kind of overhead something or other that's like zipping by that can cause damage unless you do something. Yeah, a little movie magic. Like a track switching effect of, I don't know, like, I don't know exactly how we'd do that. It could... No. I was gonna say maybe we use Melissa to do a dig attack and then like you're underground, but I don't know. I don't think that works. A lever, but then it's like, where is the lever? Is that like zipping by as well? That doesn't make much sense. Now, it could be that it appears on a balloon, like some kind of target appears on a balloon. And it's like, well, you hit that, and I don't know how it happens, but could even do a train themed target, you know. Guy in the coal car could be shoveling coal back at you. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you could do with that. But it's like, if you're doing a multi-phase battle on the train, I don't want to waste all my cool ideas of the boss if it's going to be like, okay, I've got like so much stuff that the boss can do, but also I want to add gimmicks to the fight that comes up to the boss, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's too much stuff happening here. Weapons installed, that could be hilarious. Trains are too fun. That's why I've been so excited to get to Chapter 3. I've been telling you guys for months now that I'm really excited for Chapter 3. Separate the boss. I mean, it could be that, like, I don't know, the boss makes their escape. Like, you fight the train, and it's kind of like a surprisingly easy win, but the boss has fled, and you got to track him down. Oh yeah, Chapter 3 is gonna be great. I've got high hopes for Chapter 6, because there's so many things I could do, but I have no idea what I'm actually gonna do. So it's like the potential is there, but I don't know what the ideas will be. Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Mailing list. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if we needed a mailing list for this? No. When this game comes out, you'll know. It's going to be across all the major headlines. You know, those recommended articles you get in every little news feed. When you open the browser on your phone, I'm just going to be plastered all over there. Whereas the Nintendo, all the Nintendo powers are unfortunately downstairs. So I can't print out an article about my game and paste it into any of them. Okay, but anyway, boss fight. I'm not against changing the partner. I'm not, like, I know the partner's general personality here. It doesn't have to be a mole, but it's the idea I've had since planning out the full partner list ages ago. And I mean, Leon was not one of the original ideas. I think Chapter 2 partner was originally going to be an owl, actually, in the tree zone. Mole mechanic. More of a demolitionist, kind of a bomb crazy sort of character. And a bit of a southern drawl inflection in her text. You know, plenty of ain'ts and y'alls, and reckons. Lots of reckoning will happen. Prospect. I mean, yeah, of course. And he's got a patchy hat. Panning for gold. Wild West is such a good, like, theme park architecture, you know? Yeah. One of my old ideas, and I think this is still workable. Add a gear. Great gear. You'd think I'd be better at drawing gears by now. Add a gear thing to the train here. And it's a target. It's a targetable thing. Oh, thank you for the wish list. Actually, let me check, let's check the numbers. So this is something that I've been trying to figure out how to work this in for a long while, of an optional target that actually changes the battlefield in some way. Someone deleted it off their wish list. My total wish list went down. Trains do have schedules. Not this one. This one doesn't even, this one makes its own tracks. Okay, so imagine this. A little balloon with like an alert, or not even a balloon. It could just be like a UI icon, like. If you strike the gear, then the whole train car, don't question it. Don't question how this happens. It turns around, like it rotates on the y-axis 180 degrees, so that you're now on the right side and they're on the left side. Maybe just like a single panel, like it does like a little quick spinny animation or something. Does a little spinny animation, and now you're on the right side, they're on the left side, and then the obstacle hits them. You get it? You get it? And so it becomes this thing of planning out like, you want to spend your attacks on the enemies, but sometimes you're going to have to spend it on that. And then, I don't know, maybe area of effect attacks similarly, like, will attack the gear as well. So you'll damage the enemies, but also you'll, oh no, I didn't mean to, I don't know, maybe that's not necessary. Maybe it's its own special thing. We'll have to adjust the battle code. Thank you for the follow. All follows are anonymous. We'll need to adjust the battle code to add a new, technically it'd be a new team, I guess. Currently there are 3 teams in the combat manager. There's the player team, there's the enemy team, and there's the bench for partners that are not currently in the battle. Which that one's a little silly. But trust me, it makes sense. It's easier that way. Mostly because it's easier to maintain status effects. When you move a partner to the bench, their status effects don't go away. And that's advantage and disadvantage. You can't just swap out a partner to get rid of a bad status effect. But also, you can hold on to a good status effect that way. Delicious. So maybe we add a 4th team that can actually be targeted for, I don't know, set effects or something for this battle. So this becomes a very interesting battle of fighting on a moving train. I'm really looking forward to having like the terrain just zipping by. I want to give you a real sense of speed. And maybe even have the train like occasionally go around curves. Oh, it could be so cool. We could do so much cool stuff with this. Oh, I'm looking forward to this chapter so much. Okay, so that's the general idea with that battle. And then I think it's you'll do that for a few cars in a row. Hey, Mariano. Good to see you again. Every time you complete one of these fights, you scoot up to the next train car. Oh, it's nowhere near midnight yet. I'm not going to be streaming until then, by any means. I'm going to be going to bed at my normal hour. Okay. So the actual fight against the train, I'm imagining you will be on the coal car. Oh, it's practically New Year's for you. Yeah, probably like on the coal car. So it switches to a side view for this stage of the battle. And I don't know if this is going to be one continuous battle or if it's going to be separate. It would be really nice to get a breather in between that and save the game or something. So the main idea with this chapter, I think, is this idea of the train is terrorizing, the Wild West town to be named. So yeah, we'll have like a big old mesa region with like little mines going through. Waterfall, of course. Gotta have a waterfall. There's gonna be a mini game with the mine carts. Log flume? I don't know if that needs to be a thing. Gulch. I'm excited about it. Okay, so we'll have a little Wild West town. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. It'll need to have a nice saloon. Horses will be involved, but as characters. Obviously not ridden, because they're going to be kind of vaguely anthropomorphic. So have our little town. Little horse ranch, maybe. The graveyard. Which maybe there'll be like a mysterious meeting that goes on there or something, but like nothing crazy. Big old gulch. Big old gulch. With like a train bridge going over it. And like a big old river at the bottom. And then the city is that way. Like that's the hub world over there. So the river is what separates, I guess. The river is going to be what separates chapter 3 world from the rest of the game. Big canyon, yeah, big old canyon. The intro zone is going to be a train yard by the city. So an old train yard, lots of big, like old dilapidated trains and stuff, and like big set of tracks, you know, like the cool stuff of like lots of tracks and track switcher stuff going on. Roundhouse, I don't know exactly what those look like from above. I assume round, but I don't know for sure. Kind of a brickyard. Because the idea is that, like, in its heyday, the city would have been importing raw materials by train, sure, so we can have a train yard. But then it's like the tracks mysteriously break, and then there's nothing. It's just desert ahead of you. Gift shop in the train. Okay. I mean, I've at this point in the game, I have made that gag, sort of, because in chapter 2, you ride a plane and get into a terrible crash at the end of it, and then waiting for you at the end is the photo booth. With a little picture of you in the plane. I still need to get somebody to man the booth. So don't worry, we're on the same wavelength here. Okay. Now here's my dumb idea for chapter 3, because I have no idea how to make this work. It's so different from anything else in the game. And the only way I can imagine making it actually good, we'll have some cacti. Oh yeah. Is if we can come up with some way to integrate it with the main threat, the train. No ghosts. No ghosts. Entrance there for this layout is far from final. Okay, so imagine you're traveling, you do like an area here, an area for the bridge. Oh, actually, there'll probably be one scene as you're exiting the city that's like really close to the city and it's mostly brickyard with a few signs of train tracks. Then a more complex train yard area. Then the bridge, which I think will be mostly cinematic. Oh, we could do a really far camera angle. To do that, I need to actually adjust the sound effects on the player and partner moves to make them actually located in 3D space. so that when we pull the camera very, very far away, it actually sounds like distant little boing, boing, boing. Like way out on the bridge there. We could do Perpetual Sunset. We'll see. We'll see. I definitely want to have a very cool looking sky for this area. So this area will probably be mostly 2D, just to kind of give you a very obvious, you are now moving into Chapter 3 zone. That would be nice. Yeah, slowly move out and then change the lighting a little bit to adjust. Okay. So then we have this problem. Huge desert, right? Walking around in a huge desert sounds terrible. That sounds silly. Now, Paper Mario 64 did it. I haven't played Paper Mario 64 in a while. Would love to see a connected map of Paper Mario 64. Do we have that, internet? Internet, do you have that? I think so. I think we do. Yep. Here we go. This is it. This is the one. This is what I wanted to see. Yes. This is Paper Mario 64, Chapter 2. Okay. This sucks, obviously. But this is the gag. This is the gag. Look at this. Oh, this one has a star piece. Great, cool. Each of these areas is technically unique. Oh, there's a hidden block in the middle of this room. Like, it's all unique. Boy, doesn't that suck. And then this is the way ahead, apparently. I don't know if they do I don't remember if they do a Lost Woods gag in Paper Mario 64 for this or not, or if it is actually set locations. It might actually be set locations. Meanwhile, Bug Fables. There's a great chart I remember seeing. Yeah, here we go. It's gonna take a lot of load, isn't it? Okay. Bug Fables. This is the desert. Now, Bug Fables on its own is kind of big. This is the Chapter 1 dungeon right here, this part right here. And then, like, that's Chapter 1. It's much more interconnected. It's kind of interesting. I like it. I mostly like it. But Chapter 3, I don't remember how much of this is secret stuff, but it has a big, similar sort of, like, you go into, let's see, where's the start of it? Start of it is right here. And then it's like, okay, there's like multiple ways you can go. Some of them are dead ends. Some of them are one ways. Some of them have obstacles you can't pass yet. There's a big room in the middle with lots of platforming that's kind of cool and impressive. Love it. Great job, guys. You did really good on Bug Fables. But yeah, so that's the deal with that. It is just a big, sprawling collection of rooms, but they're all unique. Unlike Paper Mario 64, where all the rooms look identical. Now then, let's talk more recent. Origami King. Origami King. Now, Origami King, it was just a huge area. There were like 4 different rooms to the desert, and they were huge. They give you a vehicle to get around in because it's that big. And it's kind of fun to drive around, sure. And they reuse that mechanic for the ocean segment. The tricky thing there is it's tough to know what's important, and I guess that's by design. But you could just like wander around in some small bit of the desert and be like, is there a secret over here for some reason? I would hate if there's a secret over here. Oh yeah, we could do Lost Woods style. Now here's the dumb idea I have, and let me find the screenshot I'm looking at. Let me find the screenshot I'm looking for this, because I think this is a really dumb approach. But it might work. Okay, let me see. There's actually a couple examples. I just thought of another one. How to search for this well. Don't have a great way of searching for this because I don't remember exactly how to describe it. And a 300 by 160 image is not going to cut it. Go back. Maybe. Oh, it's super tiny. It's a super tiny image. What am I doing with that? What am I going to do with that? Okay, this is better. All right. Okay, so two things come to mind. One is Mario Wonder, Rock Pipe Plateau. Up until like the 3rd level of the game, it's a very Mario World style world map of level, choose a direction, bloop, now you're at another level, bloop, now you're at another level, bloop, now you're at this level. But then you get to this part of the game, and suddenly it's like a 3D world, where it's like, okay, you can kind of roam around freely and just like pick from a set of levels that are like these little key locations. So you kind of walk around the world map, but then you actually click on the levels, which also lets you like sometimes find little secrets hidden there. The game that I actually thought of when I was trying to come up with this idea was Overcooked, which was similar of like you move around on the world map, but there's very obvious points of interest, but it's all done in like this kind of, I'm thinking like an overworld, but like a free roam overworld. Similar to Overcooked or 3D World or certain parts of Mario Wonder. Where you're wandering around, and there's these like, what would you call this? Like caricature models of each area that you would actually interact with. Now here's the problem. All right, it solves one problem that could just as easily be solved by hand waving, like, and then you go on for a while. Here's the goal, if we can do it. This is not trivial. I want to play with that format. Like, what if the train is pursuing you on the world map as an active threat? Like, it's not just a world map. You are still playing the game. There are still random encounters of a sort. And so you are exploring this wide open desert that has like little caricature cacti segments that are like little clusters to just remind you that you're in a big desert, and they all act as one like little solid block. Heck, what if... Okay, there's something fun about that. There's something kind of fun about that. Mimic cactus. That could be fun. What if we like lean into this being like scaled down version of the world, but like treat it like a game board in a sense, like a big hex crawl game board with like, okay, this entire spot is solid because there are some cacti around here, so you can't go to that spot. But then like do like these nice shiny nice little shiny hexagon grid game board tile kind of things going on. Actually, we could even switch to a perspective camera instead of the frustrum camera we've been using. It could be really fun. It could be really fun. Okay, so that's an idea. Make it look like a game board style view. But that only really works if there is something that sort of necessitates it in some way, such as the train is actively pursuing you as almost like a random time encounter. If you spend too much time in the desert, oh gosh, the train is coming, choo, and then it just like zips through. And if it hits you, what happens if it hits you? Battle on the train, or just it's a game hazard that knocks you back to wherever you last left. Something like that, maybe. But like this is like one big gimmick room. It's like its own thing that's completely distinct from what you've been doing. I think we could do some weird stuff with it. That's the idea. Is like do some weird stuff with it. Don't just do, I needed a way to get you across the desert, so here it is. I actually want to do some things with it. Now, what if the train, the way that the train operates is it, I don't know, it spawns and it goes in a straight line as a hazard. But you never know where it's coming from. You kind of just have to listen for it coming. Like, uh-oh, the train's coming. And so it like follows this hex grid even. So it like spawns just off screen or something and then just zips across the screen as a hazard. And you have to be ready for it. And then we could play with that a little bit if there's one section of the map that's like a long straightaway. Okay, there's like a long straightaway section that there's something at the end of it, but every time you get close, the train just barrels through and pushes you out. And once you actually get far enough in Chapter 3 that you've defeated the train or something, it's like, that's the hideout. That's their hideout. And now you can get there because you got rid of the train. And that becomes some kind of like, you can kind of see your goal well ahead of when you can actually do it. So the key to making this work, I think, would be that there need to be enough points of interest to actually access. It's okay if there's only one room in the game that actually uses this system, but it needs to make it interesting somehow. And I think one of the easy ways to do that is just have lots of points of interest. It could be that these little cactus blobs are a room you can enter. And so you basically, when you get within a certain radius of them, you get a little exclamation mark icon, press A, and you go into the room. And now you can explore that one section of the desert. And so we have these little caricature models of these little diorama style models of actual rooms that you can explore. That makes it very open-ended. So I need to be careful not to let you get too far. In a manner of speaking. I don't want you getting too far too easily. I want to funnel the player towards some kind of goal pretty early on in Chapter 3. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about Chapter 3 here. Blocked Bridge is good. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what the big climax of Chapter 3 is. So far, there's an obvious dungeon site in the form of the mines. Yeah, like a few segmented areas. I mean, it could be that the train is just like patrolling, like a shark, and if you get too close to one area, then it like beelines towards you and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's an obvious dungeon there. We can have like the hideout, the Snake Gang hideout as a dungeon. Most of the chapters have been sticking to having like, and this has been an exception. Chapter 2 has been a little bit different, which is good. But I want to have a vague pattern of it typically boiling down to the chapter begins with you getting to something that explains the problem. So in Chapter 1, you're funneled directly into Frogtown, and then whether you manually go across the bridge and find out, or you walk by the gossiping frogs and have the information forced on you, you learn very quickly, oh, the golden gear. Now we know where it is. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But we need some hoodoos and some big old rocks. How do you? It's like a weird like rock formation thing. They're really cool. Cool and weird rock formation things. We'll definitely have those. Pops up like a pop-up book. Because paper. Paper. Let's see here. It's paper. We can do dust storms. Dust storm could be your first contrivance. It's like you can't make it past the town right now. There's a dust storm going on. That's really the only place you can go. The little optional rooms would be good if there's something required there. Maybe the idea is that we do stick with the mole for the partner, Melissa. And she allows you to... her main thing is going to be letting you dig. So it could be we have, like, in these little optional areas, there's very obvious gated things that's like, you can't get past this without being able to dig. Okay, that's fine. And so when you first get there, you can access some little optional treasures and maybe some enemies. But then later you find like, oh, that innocuous little bit of ground you saw, that's actually a special thing for Melissa to dig up. Because I'm thinking her ability is actually going to be like digging underground, like not just dig straight down and then pop back up, but like dig down, move a short distance underground, and then pop up. To get under low ceiling kind of stuff. That kind of thing. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. Oh. And then I'll probably let her chuck bombs at the enemy, because that's fun. Thousand Year Door had a very fun move that Bobbery had, where he could chuck bombs at the enemies. But they were actually very slightly physics-based, and it wasn't like an action command of pass-fail. It was, you just threw bombs, and then a turn later they would explode, and if the enemy was close enough, they would take damage. So you actually had to consider, like, what is the enemy's position here? So I think something like that could be fun. So maybe you need Melissa's help to blast something open. It's like, hey, so apparently there's something at the old mines, and maybe your first stop is the town. They point you up to the mines. You get up there, you go one route, clear out something, I don't know, rock slide or something happens, and this reveals another path, but it's blocked with the rocks. And so you go back to town, you know, your partner says, oh, I guess we should go back to town. And then you ask around, and then you talk to Melissa, and she's like, yeah, we can blow it up, but I'll need a few things. And so then you gather the things from the various parts of the desert, like these little bits, and she comes along to help. So it's very important that you have a time where it's you and your existing partners. You don't just get your new partner right away at the start of the chapter. Go out and do some adventure, fight some enemies, see that the enemies have some kind of strength. Ta-da! Happy New Year! It's literally the channel trailer, but it's not generated. Are there partner-specific enemies? So far, sort of, in that the first partner you get cannot hit flying enemies, or enemies that are too high up. Melissa may be similarly unable to hit enemies in the air. Maybe she will be able to, I don't know. I was thinking that underground enemies could be an interesting mechanic to throw in at this point in the game. I'm not sold on it yet, but it is an idea. Bug Fables did that really well, that each party member had something that they were particularly equipped to handle. In this, it's there are things that they are better able to handle, but nothing so far is like an outright requirement. Dabble can hit everything, but it's like Cat's Wrench can bonk an enemy into another enemy if they're vaguely round enough for that. And so that comes up in both Chapter 1 and 2. And it'll probably come up again in Chapter 3, if we're honest. 2020, what? I definitely want to do bombs. I could see a little, like, dig under the ground kind of move being fun. Like, kind of, she goes underground, dig, and then you press the button when you get right under the enemy, and then she pops out, pops back in, and leaves back to the start. That could be a fun move. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. Not too bad to program. A little bit of particle effect for ground dust. And then, yeah, then just sold it pretty easily. Sounds like a Pokemon move. They got a lot of moves. Pokemon's got a lot of moves. Underground enemies. Fully underground enemies. Ooh. Let's see. Thousand Year Door pretty well handles it so that Mario can hit anything with the right loadout. And usually with the wrong loadout. I mean, as long as you're not running Jumpman or something, you can hit anything. Partners may be able to hit some things more effectively. It's really their special moves that shine. It's like Vivian's Veil ability is something you want to have for certain enemies, but you don't have to. Koops' AoE for ground enemies is nice, but not necessary. Actually, it gets kind of completely dealt with Quake Hammer. Quake Hammer does pretty much everything the same. Geez, so yeah, you pretty much don't ever have to rely on partners, which is good. That's a scary thing. You would never want to have a case where if your partner is out of health, you can't beat the enemy. That would be terrible. A soft lose condition there. We definitely want to avoid that. So underground enemies. Okay, however, shielded enemies. Enemies that have a front-facing shield. Thank you for the follow. All follows are anonymous. We have already done before. Pig. There you go, Pig. Pig with a hard hat. Pig with a hard hat. Classic. Classic Pig with a hard hat. That prevented you from just spamming one attack for everything. Because hard hat Pig can be hit with the spring attack, where you throw a spring in the air and it lands on an enemy. But it does less damage. Yeah, I just never want it to be... I could see it being something like they're underground occasionally, like every third turn. One of them might disappear underground. It's like, well, now it's a waiting game. I guess I'll wait until you pop up so I'm allowed to attack you. But here's the nice soft way we do it. So, Hard Hat Piggle is an enemy that takes less damage from downward-facing attacks, of which there are only 2 in the game, and one of them is unlocked. There's only one base attack that does that, and it's to prevent you from always being able to spam it for everything. So similarly, we could have some kind of shielded enemy that has a forward-facing shield because Cat's attack is forward-facing, Leon's attack, forward-facing, Dabble's main attack, Gear Spin, forward-facing. And then if we also give him a hard hat, then he's in good shape. We can just say, yeah, you can hit him, but you're going to be dealing 1 less damage for every single attack you can throw at him. Unless you had some way to attack him from below. And so maybe we introduce that kind of thing. Enemies with like a thick defense up front. Now, optionally, we can do this less explicitly by just having some kind of heavy-duty enemy on the front line and a backline enemy that is protected in the backline. And, like, this enemy is, like, healing this enemy or something. And so this enemy that has lots of health is, like, soaking up the damage and getting healed. And you don't have much of a way to deal with them, but if you could just get some... You can't hit backline enemies with a forward-facing attack. They can usually only attack the first enemy in line. And then sky-based attacks can attack them, but it's like, well, that's not going to do much. So you're in for like a really bad time unless somebody could sneak in and just like clobber from below. So we got 2 options there. Either just a hefty enemy up front with a healer in the back line or something to make it a real pain to deal with it by brute force. Or just have something similar to Hard Hat Piggle where it's aiming to coax you into attacking it the right way. Alright, they're still partying. Okay, I'm not going to stay up too much later. Okay, so we've got options for that. Digging is still viable. We won't have underground enemies. Partner should never be required to finish a fight because the partner can get knocked out. And I know Bug Fables does that with, like, you know, hey, you need somebody to attack this airborne guy. But in Bug Fables, if one of your partners is down, you're probably in a bad shape anyway. I mean, I only played the game on hard mode, so I don't know what the normal experience is. But in my experience, once one partner went down, it was like, uh-oh, here we go. Lean forward. Okay, so that's an option there. So Melissa is perhaps safe as the partner. Okay. Chapter 3 map. Okay. Okay, so the general idea I'm getting is you're wandering around the desert. You find the town through some kind of soft border that's kind of coaxing you that way, but not outright forcing you that way. Some little places you can optionally explore that have little bits of treasure, but nothing crazy. Maybe a few of those along the way, I don't know. Maybe one of those has some kind of switch that affects the overworld. That's not a bad idea. Some kind of contrivance. Another gulch area kind of thing. With like a bridge. Some kind of like forced, you have to go in here before you get to the town. I would love one that you have to go to before you can make it to the town. actually could be like a big rock slide or something. There's like a little narrow canyon that's blocking the path to town. Maybe we move town to like the edge of a canyon, and then there's just a rock slide, and then you have to go to one area to flip a switch, and it explodes. You hit the switch, and then that immediately kicks you back out to the map. Maybe just for the cinematic, or maybe it like starts a hissing fuse, and then your partner comments like, "What was that? Maybe we should get out of here and see what all that noise is." And then as soon as you exit, then it starts a cinematic where it explodes. You can see, oh yeah, that cleared the path, and then you can proceed. So yeah, something like that, like a little mini adventure room, some small, easy baby platforming. We'll include some kind of gear stuff and a little bit of Leon's grapple, so he's not left out. And then yeah, you'll hit like a big plunger or something. Big. Leave, cinematic plays. So we'll have like one optional, one required, maybe even more. I'll make a big obvious fuse. So like some kind of like pile of rubble blocking the path to the town. And then there's like a bunch of TNT, or maybe like a big cartoon bomb, some boxes of TNT is good, I think. And then like a fuse leading to a specific one of these cells. Can you visit the TNT? And I'm gonna say no, because it's getting blown up. It's gonna be gone. And so then you'll pass through, and then you're like, clear the rock slide? Oh, thank you so much. Anyway, what are you doing here? Get out of here. We don't like you. We'll do a nice, like, tumbleweed intro. We're gonna lean so hard on the Wild West tropes of, like, have Dabble squeak into town and then, like, pan over the empty streets, and then a single tumbleweed goes by. Characters. Armadillos would be good. Yeah, exactly. The TNT makes sense. Armadillo characters. Not a lot of birds. What are there? Horses. Horses. Gotta have lots of horses. Lots of armadillos. We could retool the fox sprite to be a coyote. I don't think the armadillos are enemies. I think they just live here. This is their town. The snakes are the real villains of these. We'll do snakes, scorpions. We've got the cactite enemies. Because they're already drawn. They just need cactite. They're already drawn. They just need good stats. They're just like a little hiding under an outcrop of rock. It's good. It's good. It's been in the document, in the planning document, since before Chapter 1. There were going to be snakes. Yeah, I think on the whole, we've got a good setup here. This is going to be good. The overworld thing, I want to make sure that it doesn't feel like I'm doing it for the sake of doing it. I want it to be used in an interesting way. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. Also, I don't know what Dabble's gonna look like in this setup. If we're doing an overworld thing, like, what? I'm not gonna have like a teeny tiny sprite running around that's to scale. I don't want to have his normal sprite at all. I want it to be kind of its own weird thing that's separate, like kind of like a game board icon, like a little token representing him. Actually, that could be an interesting way to do it, is we make it all game board tokens. I like that. Hang on, I like that. Because then we can do wandering enemies, and they can just also be game board tokens that are moving in regular patterns across the board. And then when they see you, they kind of towards you. Kind of they're taking their turn. And you can free move, but they kind of have to stick to the grid. That could be kind of fun. But then the train. The train is its own weird thing that just kind of goes. A friendly snake. By the end of the game, there will be at least one friendly snake. Because we're going to do a Link to the Past style ending of like showing all the places you've been and how everybody's happy now. Peace has been brought to the world. I don't want to spoil too much of that. But it's going to be very Link to the Past, you know. And the Master Sword sleeps forever. Okay. We need to, I think, raid out. Hey, look, Germdove is on. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? I know that guy. I don't know when Dove is planning on doing Paper Robot demo, but he is allegedly planning to at some point do Paper Robot demo. So if you would like to see this game played because you just can't find the time to play the demo yourself, you should give Germdove a follow. And then just hope that he gets to this at some point soon. That's it. That's what I've got to say. Oh boy. Alright. This is going to be the next 3 months of the stream. It's Chapter 3. We're going to try to maintain the pace that we set with Chapter 2. Get out the ideas, build individual rooms, and work from there. As with Chapter 2, my main plan is to start by just building a dummy test room that's like, what does the main areas, what do the main areas look like? Let's build a small little test area to walk around in and see like the sand and the dust and the mesas and the rock formations. How can we make it look good? So that's the plan. We'll see how it turns out. Thank you, Willow. Happy New Year's. Everyone, have a wonderful new year. I'll see you next year. Whoa, haha. That's, all right. It's fine. Next year's joke will be better. Bye.